I think this was the worst day of my life. I know I'm only 11, but still, can I tell you about it? It seemed like a dream that I saw in flashes. Okay, there were actual flashes of light, with the cop spotlight swinging over the drizzling September sky, searching for Bookie, clinging to the roof of the Monkey Island building in the flatlands of downtown Los Angeles, 1932. Most of the roof was glass, so when the spotlight hit the glass panes, it was like it hit mirrors, lighting them up extra bright and flashing my eyes, blinding me for a second, even though I squinted. There, I spotted Bookie's foot, then his hand. His fedora rolled along the steep glass roof and tumbled down to where Mug, the overgrown cop, stood shouting up at Bookie. I worried Bookie would slide off. Why did it have to rain now? It was only a light drizzle, but it was enough to make the slanted glass panes Bookie clung to as slick as grease. Like I said, this was the worst day of my life, but it was even worse for Bookie. Then the spotlight found Bookie and fixed a round, glowing circle over him. His fingers were digging into the metal strips that held the glass roof together. His shoes were digging carefully against the wet glass, trying to push himself up. His thick black hair stuck out in all directions. His nice suit that he'd only just stolen was a rumpled mess. Was he crying? Bookie crying? That never happened. The drizzle got heavier. I saw water running off the glass roof. Please, Bookie, please hold on. Mug was shouting things at him. There was so much noise and commotion with dozens of cop cars, 100 cops, reporters, looky-loos, snoopers, laughing idiots. It was hard to hear anything. Lots in the crowd were pointing up at Bookie and yelling things like, "There's a murderer! Don't let him get away!" Bookie wasn't the murderer. I should know. I was there. Okay, I didn't actually see everything, but I was sure it wasn't Bookie. It couldn't be. I listened hard. It sounded like Mug was calling Bookie Sue. What? I must have been hearing that wrong. Oh, come on, relax. Jesus, I got your favorite cell all warmed up and ready for you. The one with the window that you like. Got a hot drink and a sandwich and a nice cozy blankie all for you. I'm scared. That was Bookie. My Bookie, who'd rather jump into a pit of lava than say anything like he was scared. Now, in the glare of the spotlight, I saw Bookie for sure was crying. Oh, I know, Jesus, I'll be her. Don't worry. I don't want to go back. I don't want to. It was like my Bookie turned into a little kid. Did Mug lock Bookie up a few times in the good old days when Bookie was a little criminal like me? But not like me because I'd never been caught, never been locked in the big house like Bookie. I came pretty close this summer after being framed for killing about 1 million people, but I slipped through Mug's big fingers. One thing I knew, Bookie vowed never to be locked up again. As Mug shouted cheerful words about the nice warm cell waiting for Bookie and calling him Sue of all things, and Bookie sobbed back at him, my eye spotted a tall, skinny character I never liked to spot. Whisper, Whisper, the City Hall fixer who pulled the puppet strings behind City Hall's closed doors. Let's just say Sparky wasn't his favorite kid. I'd caused him plenty of grief this summer by messing with his schemes. With him were his 2 kid cops that were firmly in his pockets and did whatever he said. To hide, I slid under a parked cop car. It was like a stinky lake under there, the huge puddle soaked through my sailor dress. At least I could still see them. I hoped they couldn't see me. Wait, something was wrong. A danger alert went off in my head. The kid cop who'd blasted the pistol-toting floozy this summer with a rifle, after a nod from Whisper Whisper, was holding his rifle again. With rain dripping down the brim of his cop hat, the rifle kid cop looked up at Whisper Whisper, who was taller than him and the other kid cop. Whisper Whisper's long neck with his bobbing Adam's apple was craned back, looking up at Bookie. Rain ran along the brim of his Panama fedora to dribble down the back of his neck. Angrily, he pulled his fedora off his blonde head. He shook it, but too late. It had lost its shape from the rain. Whisper Whisper noticed the kid cop looking up at him. He looked down at the kid, frowned at his wet fedora. Then he made a small nod, so small you'd miss it unless you were looking straight at him, like I was. I recognized that nod. It was the same nod Whisper Whisper made this summer right before the kid cop took the bull's eye rifle shot that knocked the floozy down permanently. This same kid cop was now pointing his rifle up at Bookie, sobbing in the glare of the spotlight. Bookie was an easy target. Oh no. Thank you. That's from Monkey Island Murder, the next Sparky of Bunker Hill mystery that is coming out this summer. Thank you.